On today's show, we're going to be talking about penis.
The Something Else Podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Something Else Podcast. As I said in the intro, we are going to be talking about penis, but not any penis, my penis. More precisely, my nutsack. Before we get into the show, if you're watching this, you can probably see it's a slightly different environment. This is just kind of on-the-fly show, really, on-the-fly podcast. So we are in the garage. We're still using the microphone and everything. We're still going to have, hopefully, decent audio. But the visuals might be a bit different. But yes, why are we talking about my balls? Well, the reason is, my friends, I made a grown-up decision. You see, as of recording this, it's Wednesday. Now, 2 days ago, on Monday. On Monday, I made a big choice. Well, I made the choice before Monday. I decided to have a vasectomy. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically where they cut the tubes that make sperm come out of your semen. Basically, it stops you having babies. The reason for it is I've got 2 beautiful children, and I don't want no more. And I do like me some sexy time. And I was thinking about this before because there's a lot of contraception there, obviously. You've got Johnnies, or condoms. Now, the problem is that they're great. They do a great job, but they take the feeling away, don't they? Because, essentially, you're putting a balloon on your penis. And, yeah, I mean, they're good. You can get the really thin ones, but I don't know. I've never been a fan of them. Obviously, you can get pills that women can take. Can men take pills? I don't know. But the problem is when my missus goes on the pill, they always make it ill. Hey, that rhymed. And obviously you can get the coil or you can get your tubes tied, but that woman has done way too much for us, or for me, really. I mean, she birthed 2 amazing children, so why the hell should I get her to go through all this crap? Because in the end of the day, it's my sperm that makes the baby, doesn't it? Without the sperm, there is no baby in the egg. Or no growth for the baby. And, I've been thinking about it for ages. Like, why? We're not going to have any more children. We don't want any more. And we definitely don't want accident children. So I thought, let's just bite the bullet and go and have the op. And I thought I would talk about that exact thing. So, bear in mind, I'm 34. So I'm still relatively young, I guess. Prime of a male sort of thing? You're at the peak, or for me anyway, coming towards the end. Ha! But that the chair's creaking, by the way. Or the noises the bedroom makes. Anyway, so yeah, like I'm approaching I'm mid-30s. Let's be honest. So I was like, it is a big decision to make. And when I had the phone call with the doctor, they were like, are you sure? Do you have any children? I was like, yeah. You don't want no more? No, that's why I'm asking, that sort of thing. And but when I went for the actual op, it was straightforward, to be fair. It wasn't a hospital job. I had to go just to a general GP because I was awake through the whole thing. It was different. Like, I'm not one of them people that get really embarrassed at the doctors. Like, they've seen it all before. So I had to lie down. No, first I had to fill in a bloody questionnaire thing saying, yes, I whatevers, and yes, and no's, and all this stuff. And then I had to lie down on the doctor's bed, sort of thing, and then he snuggled with me. No, but I had to lie down on the bed, drop me trousers and undies, and essentially he had to find the tubes. Now, I thought that would just be a case of, I don't know, maybe bring a machine to take a picture of my scrot. But no, what he did was... No, I just want to get this out of the way with, right? I like a little bit of, cock and ball torture, It's fun. But as men, there's 2 types of pain you can have with your balls, right? Bad pain, that is. Not good pain, not pleasure pain, but bad pain. You've got the pain where it's like, oh, bloody hell, my nuts, oh... and that's generally where you get kicked and whacked in them, it hurts. But then you've got that I feel sick pain, but that's when someone flicks them. Now, I don't know about the whole of the world, but we used to play a game in school. I don't know if it's just an English thing or just a my school thing, but we used to call it Happy Sack. And literally, I think we copied it off Jackass, actually, where you just, like, flick your friends in the nuts. But yeah. And so to find the tubes, he can do what I can only describe as, that was definitely the chair. Now, I am holding an Irwin Quick Grip. Right? Now, for the visuals are fine because you can see it. But if you're listening to this, I am slowly squeezing the Quick Grip clamp to the point where it's, like, closed. Now, imagine your nuts are in that, right? It's being squeezed just to find these things. Again, that was the chair. Definitely the chair. And, yeah, so he did that to find the tubes. And I was like, good God, I'm about to throw up, sort of thing. But then he was like, yeah, we've got them. And then, obviously used it. Was it the iodine or whatever? The like, antiseptic fluid. So, yeah, he washed my balls. That was great. And then, the nurse, she lifted my penis and taped it to my belly. Honestly, it's like... it was the weirdest thing to be part of. So yeah, and then he made an incision into my scrot and cut out 2 tubes, I guess 1 from each nut. And now I just have like a, I don't want to say it's a fistula, but I think he might have put dissolvables in, but you can see where the incision was. But yeah, after that, I mean, it was like 20 minutes, if that. Then he bandaged me up, taped my nuts, my nuts, can't even speak, taped my nuts up so they wouldn't droop or like hang, because gravity hurts once the all the numbing stuff's gone. Is it anesthetic? Anesthetic? You know what I mean. But yeah, so yeah, I then got home, and after it all wore off, I was like, good God, I'm in agony. I was very naive, I will say that. I was very naive. I thought I was going to be able to go back to work the following day, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't walk. I went to the bathroom and just do a stand-up wee-wee, as men do. And I dropped my trousers. Like, I was wearing shorts and boxers, but I put them by my knees, and my shorts dropped to the floor. That was the most stressful 5 minutes of my life, because I could not pick them up. I ended up just taking them off and dragging them to my bed. But yeah, it was such a weird... Oh, sorry, I'm playing with a knife, by the way. Not in that way. It's just I really like the knife. But yeah, it was such a weird thing to go through, because it was like, when you're lying there, I'm normally someone who just makes a decision and goes with it. I'm very impulsive. Never think things through. Generally, it bites me on the ass, and I pay the consequences later in life. But this one I really did think about, because I like me some snoo-snoo, and I don't really want any more babies from it. And I don't exactly want Sam to go through all that hassle again. Because it's like, I was reading somewhere it takes like a year for the body to go back to normal after birth, 2 years for the brain, and 5 years for like whatever. No, it was just showing the progression of time, and I was like, I don't want it to go through any more, now she's finding herself again. I don't want her to regret? I mean, she probably regrets it. But yeah, it was just such a weird one, because it was like, it was probably the most adult thing I've ever done. Yes, I've had kids. I got married. I'm in a house and all this jazz. But it was I don't know, it's such a weird thing, because it's like, I think you can have the procedure reversed, but it's not guaranteed. But I was just like, that's me done now. But. It's not all doom and gloom, you see, because there's a comedian over here in England called John Bishop. I think that's his name. And he also has the snip, as vasectomy is commonly referred to. And he said something that made me laugh. Because he was like, the difference is between men that haven't had a snip and men that do have a snip. He's like, you never know who's had it, but he's like, the difference is, men that have had the snip, we're sex toys. I was like, fuck yeah. I mean, if you have 2 children, you're an ornament. But yeah, it was such a weird thing, and I think it just made me aware that I'm an adult, as weird as that sounds. And Oh, that was Evie shouting in the background. You might have heard her then. But yeah, it was such a crazy thing to go through. Like, I mean, it's been 2 days since the op, and I'm like, you have to go back in like 12 to 16 weeks to do a sperm sample just to make sure that the operation is successful, because in certain cases, like spontaneous cases, the tubes can reconnect or it wasn't quite successful. You're not allowed to ejaculate up to, say, 10 days after the procedure. That's really testing. Day 1 of not masturbating. You have to wear really tight undies just because, again, obviously, your balls, they're going to drop. Gravity hates us. So you have to wear, like, really tight-fitted undies. And after a while, you're like, yeah, that's not too bad. But the swelling, good God. Like, it's uncomfortable. But it's one of them ones, isn't it? We make these decisions for the better life. And I think it's just made me, weirdly, it's made me more aware of just decisions to make. It's like, with this podcast, for instance, I really want it to be more than what it is, but I'm just very inconsistent. But I think it's because I'm always doing something. Like right now in the garage, I'm building Evie a unicorn, like a little wooden ornament, because she really wants one. Over there, that's the chair, by the way. You're going to get really annoyed with me because I keep saying that. But over here, I've got a train. I'm building Ted. Well, we haven't even started it yet. Now, obviously, I do videography and photography on the side every now and then. I play in a band. More to come on that. That's a motorbike out there. But, like, I've got all these different things I'm doing. Oh, and then, obviously, the YouTube thing where I do reviews of music and stuff. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, should I just stop all of it and just focus on the one thing? I was like, that might be the best thing to do. Because I think what happens is I'm doing so much, I can't do one thing and complete it. And my dad always said the same. I'm too busy doing everything else and not focusing on one thing. And it's very true. Very, very true. So yeah, just a bit of a weird one, really. Yeah, being an adult's great. I had to spend 500 pissing quid on my car because the what's it called? The EGR valve had gone, completely seized. The DPF was gone too. I've had to have, I can't remember what the bloody hell they said it was. Not a remapping, but they did something to it. It works now. Had my spark plugs turn up. Not spark plug, glow plugs turn up, and one of them was missing, so I don't really want to put 3 in. What else is there? I need to do the rust as well, actually. But again, I'm drifting off into a tangent of many things I want to do, but won't actually do. It's like I don't know if you can see them behind me, and if you're listening to this, on my shelf behind me, I've got some RC cars, and the intention was to do videos with that, with like some of my mates and family, and we just never got around to doing it because we're always bloody busy. And I think this is where adulting comes into play, because it's a lot of the stuff I'm doing now I should have done years ago. I should have focused on me and then focused on the family. And sadly, I'm not doing that. I'm spending more time now doing the stuff I wanted to do, and I'm missing out on the family, and I know that, but I can't channel my brain. So who knows? Maybe this whole thing, having the vasectomy, might give me a bit more clarity in life that I've been wanting for a while. I don't know. Fun times, fun times. But I'm going to leave it there because, it's only a short episode, but I really wanted to talk about my balls because they're great. It is weird, though. You're just lying there, fully open. And I said this to the doctor and the nurse. I was like, it's really weird because obviously your scrotum is completely numb. Like, your cock's still very, very aware. And I was just like, please don't get a boner. Please don't get a boner. Can't be getting an erection right now. But, it was weird because obviously your scrotum's numb and he's flailing around. And like I said, a bit of ball play. It's not too bad. And I was like, how weird is it that I can't feel any of this? But it's, decisions. That's what I'm going to call this episode, decisions. I'll tell you what. Let me know in the comments, whether it be on whatever platform this is on. Hell, Facebook, Instagram, find me. And I want you to tell me some of the most difficult decisions you've ever had to make. And maybe I can help you with them. Or maybe you can help me. Either way, thank you very much for listening. Bye.